Welcome back to the Break Zone. We are heading into our coverage of the semifinals here at the third circuit event of the Northern California Meta Potion Circuit. We're still here at Isle of Gamers in Santa Clara, California. A little bit less sunny than when we started, but still a great day of games nonetheless. We had some pretty epic matchups this last round. Obviously, we can only show you one of those matchups at a time. But we had some matches that went to time, so we apologize for anybody who was waiting around for a long time on this next round. But we had some games run to time, or matches run to time actually. But we are all geared up here for our top four match. Top four. We're going to see actually one of the players we just saw in the last round, which is Thomas. He'll be returning here playing Jason, who we have not yet seen today on the stream. But Philip here was watching one of the other matches that happened back there that apparently was like a barn burner.
It was a great match. It was David the Corgi against Dylan, and Dylan was running Knights versus David's Seabreeze, and it was a very good match.
I believe we saw both of them earlier today, actually on the stream at different points in time. So we saw those decks. Let's look in here on our match that has just started.
Ursulang, turn 1 from Jason.
Go. I mean, it's just dude.
What's David doing?
All right, we've got an early Fusaya, it looks like, and an Onion Knight from Thomas. So that's going to help take out. It's going to take out one of those two. And the thing about Ursula and Yang is they are a great play overall, but they're a little bit soft.
They're a great tag team, but they'll never win the championship by themselves.
Yeah. All right. Playing into
Sigwardis?
Yeah. Sigwardis or the other one. I don't remember the name.
I believe that's Sigwardis.
All right.
That is the first time I believe we've seen him.
It's always nice to see some cards that we haven't seen come up here. I love the variety. I love how many cards in this game are viable right now in the meta. So, I mean, usually if you see him, you're kind of expecting that, Brandalis at some point is going to show up, which is also something we don't see a whole lot of.
Yeah, and, props to Jason for playing it and making it work. Props to him for making it work.
Yep. Oh, yes, the other one is Pelennor.
There you go. Yeah, Sigwardis, we'll pull it up here for you, who will buff Brandalis and give him first strike.
Yep.
And he can also dull himself, and the opponent loses first strike. I don't know how relevant it's going to be, but it's always a threat to have.
Yep.
And then
that first turn, Ursula and Yang, it's two 9Ks, one of them with Brave, but yeah, the thing is, if you can find a way to remove one of them, particularly Yang, it makes it so that Ursula is still 6K. That's not bad for two. Look at that, we're getting the Roban. This time there is a forward on the field. And it looks like Thomas is going to take his first damage, which is another Onion Knight.
We have your packs up front if you want them.
Looks like Thomas on his second turn used a Gromus and I believe searched for Al Cid, if I remember correctly.
And all right, looks like we are getting
Sage
to get that Onion Knight back. So there's the Onion Knight we just saw, not to be confused with the Onion Knight in the damage zone there. Yep, Al Cid is very effective on active forwards. So Yang is back. That could possibly be a bit of a trap there if he does have the Al Cid, but we'll see what happens. So that's second point of damage, brings up the Archer.
And it looks like here it comes to 4
Yep,
Al Cid Onion
Knights.
I
Yeah, if you know they got it in their hands, it kind of forces you to either try to put something out there that is gonna bait it on maybe a forward that you're not as worried about, or you need to keep aggressive. but at the same time, it's hard to keep aggressive because when you play a forward, it comes out, active. So unless you have a way to dull that in the first turn, you're gonna have you're gonna have problems there. And Thomas double checks what Sigwar Artist does. And we're going to get a Monk as a follow-up here. He does not attack with the Ursula, which would have traded with one of the two forwards that Thomas has.
Thomas would have been probably happy to take.
Oh, yeah, getting rid of Alcid. Then there's Barrel Eye. So we've seen that from Thomas already. He's going to attack with the Onion Knight because he would be happy to trade, as we just pointed out. Jason's going to take that damage. Oh, he's up to 2 damage there, it looks like.
And Thomas hits the Leviathan. So it does...
So
Jason
does he
trigger
activate it?
And he triggers it on Alcid.
Back the Alcid, which is maybe not what you would normally see here. But
Winzidane.
Yep.
He plays the Winzidane.
He's got Brandalis and an Atomos, and seeing that the Sigwar Artist is out there, he's going to go ahead and get rid of that Brandalis. Not to mention Brandalis, when he enters the field, does actually searches for one of the two, so you would be able to get the other one from it. We get Guy. Guy's making his reappearance. He's attacking with Ursula. Now the thing is, Zidane is actually 7,000 right now. Because if you have 2 or less cards in your hand, then he's at 7,000.
And looks like Jason's going to break the Monk to give the plus 3k to Ursula to get over the Zidane.
Okay.
So now Jason's got Guy on the field against just a Lonely Onion Knight.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad position to be in at that point. He's going to attack with the Onion Knight. Again, this looks like a trap to me, but, And he's going to take that damage, hitting Shantoto.
How crazy would it be if Shantoto was the first?
Alright.
And we're heading over. Now at this point, there's no blockers to stop both those forwards. And Guy can attack without doing anything. So Ursula's going to come in and hit Lulu, which is part of Thomas's game plan. And then he hits Gilgamesh. So now we're up to 4 damage there.
The crackback, on that, I don't know if it was worth it to swing in. But
with the Onion Knight?
Yeah, to swing in the Onion Knight. You're taking 2 back.
Seven.
Thomas looking at his options. He's got that very unfortunate Guy out there.
Yeah, that everyone's favorite guy that nobody wants to see.
Looks like he passes. He's passing over to Jason's turn. This is the Zidane we were talking about. Jason is going to play into Anna Crow. That's going to give both Ursula and Guy an extra 1k. So that actually gets Ursula over Onion Knight's power at this point.
And it buffs Guy to 9k Brave.
He attacks with it, and let's see if Thomas has anything in mind for how to deal with this. He is dulling 3. That's usually a good sign of... Oh, not what I expected. Walker. Chaos. Walker of the wheel. So he's going to target Guy. So that was in response to the attack declaration. At this point, Jason can play another guy. Because sometimes in this game, behind every good guy is another good guy.
Or underneath every good guy.
Yep. Ursula's still going to attack, and he's going to block with the Onion Knight there, not taking any damage. I'm sorry. All right, so we are back to Thomas's turn here. He's got the return of Angry Guy, which
and he's gonna try it again.
Right? So can he pull off the 3-peat? No. Jason's got 1 card in hand. It looks like no, it is not a forward. So that's an effective way. It took 2 chaoses, but we got through it. So at this point,
and didn't take a point of damage.
Yeah, it's true. So pretty close on damage. Obviously the same amount of. Actually no, he got 1 extra backup, and he's gonna hard cast that
Odin.
Yep,
Pay
Odin
7
so,
for a 2-cost Ursula.
That's some hate right there. That's like all right, and if we Delita, which is even harder to get rid of here.
He won't be Odining that.
Yep, still gets +1 from the Anna Crow. So he's going to be at 10k. Not Brave, but we're going to get Zidane. He's going to discard the remaining card, which is Shantoto. At this point in time, he probably wasn't playing the Shantoto anyway. And again, this is very effective because we've seen Thomas using the L-Cid combo a lot, and if you can use the L-Cid combo, in this case, you'd have to use it with the Onion Knight, because L-Cid and Rigdia would actually not be effective enough against 9K. You see that he blocks the Zidane, so he's, again, stemming the damage, but now he's still got that Delita on a Chocobo.
Very iconic scene from the game. The hero has arrived.
Balthier, the return of Balthier.
Don't want to play anything.
All right, let's see what Jason has a follow-up with here. If he had
For
he's Robon, right?
Gipple.
Oh, Gipple. So that's, we're looking at a 14K Delita. That's not going to get blocked.
Yeah, no.
So we're up to five damage over there.
Yeah, Jason's just gonna whistle while he gipples, and Delita's just gonna take the point,
Yep, and it gives a blocker for Balthier still. So I mean, that's a pretty solid play.
Yeah. Al-Cid.
Now, see, L-Cid is a lot more effective against Gipple than he is against Delita. I think he was stopping to see if there was a response. There's always the possibility, if somebody plays L-Cid on you, you can respond with a Titan, which makes the forward dull and thus makes L-Cid's ability fizzle. So it's always good to not get too far ahead of yourself. Although I think when you do the declaration of L-Cid's ability, you do have to prove and show what you intend to play if it resolves.
Yeah, and if you have the Titan in hand, you're gonna force your opponent to play 4 for a 6K, and you're gonna feel good doing that.
Yep.
Your guy?
So Delita still a powerhouse right now, but he's got 3 opposing forwards, so it's not something you really want to attack into at this point.
No, the crackback does not look to be
No,
worth it.
taking 3 damage potentially. Oh, he's gonna do it.
So do it.
Okay,
Right.
well.
Chump block. Okay.
Yep. So he's potentially looking at 2 damage incoming, but if he has a forward to play, to follow that up with that can block, that's actually maybe not so bad.
That'd be a very solid play. Let's see what Jason does. Dulling 2, discarding, and the Emperor.
Oh.
The Emperor's gonna shut down, I'd say probably about half of Thomas's
You
deck.
gotta fight everybody. You gotta fight everybody. How'd your deck do?
All right, so we've got an even 2 forwards each on the field. We got 3 backups for Jason, 4 for Thomas. Thomas has not had a chance to set up his Lulu engine. He's gonna attack with Balthier.
And hit 5-drop Yuna.
Oh, X-Burst. Yes, it's probably not a good idea for him to send back the L-Cid again, like we did earlier.
Yeah.
So he is going to send back Balthier, forcing Thomas to potentially have to pay another 4 CP. He hasn't played anything yet this turn, so I mean he could use his backups to just return Balthier to play.
In Sacramento, that has yep, it's in the California page. If you have Facebook, we can.
And 3-5 for
Enuo.
Enuo.
Yep.
Which Enuo's still not as big as Delita.
No, just barely not.
David Corey.
We seem to be starting to get a resurgence of the 5 CP Yuna backup, which is interesting.
Oh, you know what? That makes me happy because I love that card. It is beautiful card.
Oh, it's so pretty, and in foil, it's
even
absolutely
better.
gorgeous.
If anyone has one for trade, hit me up. Also, it looks like Thomas is going to overpay for the Balthier, discarding 2, dulling the Barrel Eye to allow him to play the Balthier.
Yeah, the Barrel Eye is at least providing him with the win to do so, but that's a little bit tough there. He's up to 4, or he's still got 4 backups.
All right, see ya. Good to see
But
ya.
yeah, even if he, I mean, a lot of these lightning tricks,
See ya.
are based on. Are based.
Tomos.
Oh, he's gonna Tomos the Enuo, getting rid of that. That's a solid play right there. And then the question is whether he wants to attack in on that Balthier. Balthier just entered play, so it can't actually use its ability to trade up here.
Even if it did, it'd have to sack itself.
Yes, yeah, but it would straight trade up at that point.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I believe it's your turn already.
so yeah, we're gonna see L-Cid take that, which means anytime L-Cid's not on the field, it's actually a little bit scary against a lightning player.
Yeah, and you got an active Emperor.
Yeah, that Emperor is kind of L-Cid bait at this point.
5 for
We're
Hero
gonna get
Lulu.
Lulu. Currently, she doesn't have. That's actually
Give you a hit.
5 points of damage on Thomas, and he's got no forwards.
You'll
Oh,
get
sorry, he's got
Balthier.
Balthier.
Find out right now. Oh,
Blended in with the mat for me for a second there. Okay, that seemed a little scarier than it was. But still, he's mostly dulled down. He can now. No, he chooses not to. But he
Takes
could have
it,
traded with it. He hits
flips
an
the
Exodus. That would have been a very effective way of taking care of either the Emperor or Delete, depending on which one he was more annoyed with. And then we have a Vincent. So Jason is just taking this right now.
He's just pumping out forwards,
Yep.
and every forward he pumps out is going to be an 8K. You know, he's playing, looks like Mono Earth, and everything
Yeah.
in Mono Earth is going to be at least 8K.
Yep, and we got the Enna out, so actually
9
Vincent's going to be
Ks.
at 9 right now, so that's more than enough to take care. Oh, there's El Cid
Cid
coming back. The
and
return of El
Rigdia.
Cid. That's taking care of the Emperor. So this is a bit of a long game play in terms of that he's removed the Emperor, thus opening up the possibility of using the Lulu.
All right, let's see what Jason's got going here. Playing 3 for Minwoo.
Minwoo, which is the other very hard
hold
counter
on.
to Lightning. You can see, I think Thomas is looking at his options here. He's choosing to block with the Rigdia. Jason's going to attack with the 9K Vincent.
He's
So
forcing him to jump.
Yep, and then he's still got a follow-up of something.
Cecil.
Oh, wow. That's going to be an 8K Cecil right there.
Yeah.
So once again, Jason has played out everything in his hand. He doesn't have anything left, but he is matching or almost matching on backups, and he's got a much stronger field right now than Thomas has, and he's shut down the things that Thomas is trying to do. The Emperor's no longer out, but short of a Thundaga, something from Lulu is not going to be enough right now with the Minwoo on the field.
Yeah. Well, let's see what Thomas draws.
Yes. Look at his options here. He's looking at 3 forwards coming at him that are all at least as big as Balthier on the next turn. The thing about Lightning is that Lightning does not have an easily available card to wipe the field.
No, I mean they got Exodus, but right now it's not hitting anything but 1 forward at a time.
Yeah, and then X Death requires a lot of setup in a deck that's kind of based around it. So it's not something you're going to see in a standard Lightning deck that's not built around intentionally Grand Crossing.
Yeah, you're not seeing that in anything that's not mono Lightning. With this Wind Splash, you're not getting X Death.
Yep, and then the next closest thing you're going to get in Wind is the legendary Valafor, which is still kind of a niche use, but I've started to see it show up in some top decks from I think Europe or some places, so it's getting a little bit of love, but it's kind of a sleeper card right now.
There's a deck around here that uses it too. Someone.
Yep.
He's going to shoot with Fusoya. It's not going to do any damage because of Minwoo.
Yep, it's going to get nullified there, but he will retrieve something. He's looking at his options. He's going to go for Barbarisha. Barbarisha is a play that still works through the Minwoo because it lowers the opponent's
power.
The power, which lowering power is not restricted by Minwoo there.
Yeah.
So he's going to play the Barbarisha.
He's got a discard.
He's trying to decide who to target here. He's going to target Vincent. The interesting thing here, an important distinction is that it does reduce to 1,000, but that does not count boosts or bonuses. So the Enna Crow is still in effect. So Vincent was at 2K, but that's exactly enough for Balthier to finish him off at exactly 2K there. So he effectively gets rid of that Vincent.
Yeah, hold on.
Sorry about that. We had a little
That was
confusion
a
there.
delayed payment.
Yeah.
And Jason's going to follow up with a Leviathan. At this point, he's looking at 2 forwards,
it's
and
game.
Thomas has decided to that's going to be the end of that one. So that was we're seeing some really hard counters to Thomas's deck, and Thomas's deck is top notch. So it's no scrub.
Yeah, but like we were discussing earlier, though, a deck will be solved, and Jason, who is solid in his own right, is still he didn't care what Lulu was going to do because he was just going to throw out 9K forwards. Lulu doesn't. You don't care when your guys are 9K, 10K.
Yep.
Delita doesn't care about Lulu because you could target him and then she dies. So it's
Yep. So game 1 goes to Jason there. He's got some things that directly will mess with what Thomas is trying to do.
Yeah. And it looks like Jason splashes the Minwu because there were no other water card besides the hero Yuna, and it looks like it's Earth Heavy deck splashing water. We'll see how Thomas adjusts to that game plan for the second game.
Yes.
All right, here we go for game
Getting things
2.
cut. That was a really good first match between the two of them, and it was still pretty close. It wasn't like a 7-0 victory or anything.
Yeah, was not a blowout.
We did it.
It was very solid play from both sides. You saw the momentum swing.
You almost had me.
Looks like Jason's going first. Let's see if he can turn one Ursulang again.
He's gonna discard 2, and
There it is.
that's it again. Wow. Now, I'm always nervous playing first against a Lightning player because I'm expecting that Elcid. There's other options too. There it is. Yep.
Elcid Rigdia.
Yep. And it's not necessarily going to be important right here, but it's one thing to remember that I think is overlooked is that when Rigdia, when the thing that Rigdia damages is killed that turn or goes to the break zone that turn, it does dull an additional forward. There it didn't necessarily matter because he wasn't going to be attacking that same turn, but with Lightning you could have haste sometimes.
Yeah. In that case, it would definitely matter. But it looks like this is the same as game 1. Ursulang followed by Elcid Onion Knight.
Yep. Or Elcid Rigdia in this case.
Rigdia, yeah.
So I get pass.
Yeah, so it's important, sometimes those of us who know these cards very well, we sometimes even can overlook certain details about it that we've forgotten. And it's also been a long day.
Gamers, you have 45 minutes left. 45 minutes left.
Oh, it's got lands and spells. Outkeep.
Looks like Jason also followed up with the Minwu.
Yep, and that's something that Thomas is not going to want to see early here, but he looks like he's deciding whether or not to use the Archer on it.
Yeah, he's got the Archer down, and
nope, he's going to go for the Zidane. Look at his hand. He's got the Enna and a Gipple. I'm almost actually surprised to see him go for the Gipple there, because Gipple, as I pointed out before, is a pretty bad feeling early card. But then again, it could be that he's got a 3-1 advantage on forwards, and maybe he just doesn't want to have a forward that is larger than his currently on the field out right now.
Yeah. We'll see if that does it.
Okay.
And here
goes
comes
for Minwu discards, and he does bring out the Enna, so now that's going to bring Ursula up to 7K. That is enough to handle, or at least trade with, anything. It will outright take out Rigdia or Elcid, but he's attacking with the now 7K Zidane.
Jason takes it. And Gipple.
And we get a Gipple, so now that that Ursula is now 11K, which is probably going to hamper,
and that's going to stop any attack. You hit a Gipple and say, okay, well, time for main phase 2.
Yep.
That's nothing coming from that.
How am I supposed to beat
Alright, let's see what Thomas has got. It looks like he's sorting some cards.
Yep. 2 for a Sage. Again, we're going to return a character back to our hands. He's going with the Archer, so we'll see what happens here. Again, that Minwu is problematic, but we see Thomas do plays where he's thinking the long game on things, and so maybe this could be in preparation for plans on how to deal with Minwu. Jason is going to Shantoto the board.
Now, I think that was the right call there, because things were starting to get out of hand.
It's true.
Double Archer.
Yeah, if you're playing against Earth, you always got to be wary of getting too far ahead on forwards. He's going to discard the Roban. We're getting Brandalus. He does get to search with that, although I
Does
don't.
he?
Is he?
Yeah.
Yes, he's going to. So he gets to search for Sigwardus or Pelennor and put it in his hand. It kind of gives you a bit of a rebate, makes it so that that Brandalus is essentially a 3 CP card. So any card that lets you search for something and put it in your hand, you're getting 2 CP of value whether or not you actually discard it for the CP.
6,000.
You know, a card is worth 2 CP on its own.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
it just turns a 5-drop vanilla 8K into a 3K, and then you get the other one. It could be a 1, for 1 drop, so, which is always good.
And discard the Onion Knight into Lulu.
I think this is pretty bad, man.
So that helps because he puts the Archer out to make it so that he's not overpaying for Lulu and not doing it in a very kind of non-constructive way. Oh, and he hits the Odin. So that is quite timely.
And
for
contrary
Thomas
to
right there.
belief, Brandalus is not on the top 5 Odin targets, but he will
Partially
take
because
it
he
this
costs
time.
5.
No, there's a 7-cost Odin, as we can see.
That's true. Yep. Sometimes he gets hit for X Burst.
And then Jason follows it up with the Cecil, which is an 8K Cecil.
Shenanigans, yeah.
Will deal 5K anytime he takes a point of damage, which when you're a lightning player, you will have that actually become
I need a
relevant.
hero. You don't kill my stuff anyways, so.
Let's see what Thomas is doing here. Dulling 2 for... sorry, 3.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't see the Barbarisha there. So Barbarisha follows it with a Fusoya.
Yep, and again, that gets around the Minwu combo, so that's very effective workaround.
Go.
And kills off the Cecil and leaves you with a pretty strong forward at that.
Yep. Yeah.
There's Sigwardus.
Yep. So he's got a full. They both actually have full backup lines at this point. So it'd be interesting to see where things go at this point. Jason is behind. Oh, that Emperor would have been very, very useful right now. Zidane, he's going to look at the cards in his hand. Oh, yeah, he's going to get rid of the only forward in the hand there, which is a pretty smart play there. That second Shantoto is not going to be effective without a way to get rid of the first one.
Yeah.
So things have started to turn a little bit. Jason was kind of in control of what's going on, and at this point, we've seen it swing back the other way. This is a pretty good match.
Looks like Jason doesn't have a forward to put down, so let's see what happens.
It's a Leviathan. We're getting so many experts here today.
Do you bounce to Zidane? So you don't take the point of damage, but now he's going to play Zidane and make you discard.
Yep, and he still has no forwards, it looks like? Yeah, he gets rid of the Atomos.
Yep. I mean, that's a feels bad all the way around.
I mean, if you didn't have a forward in your hand, I actually am almost kind of okay with that because it prevents the additional point of damage. And really the most important thing for him right now is getting some bodies on the field.
Yeah, that's definitely necessary.
You can discard Pelennor. All right.
There's Delita again.
Delita. Not sure why he dulled 4 and did that. It's he kind of overpaid. It looks like by accident. I mean, technically you're allowed to do so. I guess if you dull 4 and then you can overpay by 1.
Yeah. If it doesn't affect, your hand or board state, I don't see why not. And there's the Enuo again.
All right, so we're back to Thomas having a full-on advantage. He's
Chaos
Chaos,
Walker.
and he's... Oh, okay, so this is an important distinction here. This is a great combo. Enuo into the Chaos. Chaos Walker the Wheel, I'm going to put it up here in a second on our image, but the ability to play another forward afterward is contingent on that forward going to the break zone. And so a way around that is if you're using the 5 CP unit, or in this case Enuo, has the same exact ability that every time something gets broken, you as the controller of that card have the option of removing it from the game instead. So this is a sneaky workaround by which it looks like Thomas takes that second round.
Yeah.
But
I know, right?
Anyway, it's contingent on it going to the break zone. So if you make sure it doesn't go to the break zone, the second part of Chaos doesn't actually kick in, and you manage to remove a forward without giving your opponent any sort of not an advantage, but they don't get the benefit that's built into the card to make it balanced.
Yeah, and Thomas took a risk there, because he was ahead, and he took the point of damage by targeting the Delita, and didn't give him a chance to play in the other forward. It was genius play with the Enuo out, which is, you don't see Enuo anywhere really. A little overcosted, but when you run it with Wind, so you can Chaos Walker it, it's brilliant combo, genius, and it's good to see.
Yep. And Enuo is a bit expensive, but you do get a 9K body for that 5, so that's at least it's not underpowered for what it is. And that particular combo, the deck's not built around it, but there's a bunch of combos that kind of naturally work in Thomas's deck, so that sometimes you're going to draw some of those combos, and other times you'll draw others, and that's one that we hadn't seen yet today, but it's very effective.
Yeah. And here we go.
We're heading into third game.
Third game, sorry.
Both players at this point pretty intimately familiar with what the other person's deck is trying to do. So it's about who gets the answers that they need for the other person's deck, or who can and maybe correctly anticipate what to expect from the opponent.
Yeah, it looks like Jason's going first again. Let's see if we can Ursulang 3 times. No.
We're going to get an early Pelennor there. Pelennor is the other part of the Brandalus combo. We're getting an early Archer from Thomas. So again, people may not be familiar with that, so we're going to bring that up here for you. Both of these backups both cost 2 CP. They both give something to Brandalus. My recollection is that it gives Brave, I think, too.
Yeah, I believe it gives him Brave, and Sigwardus is the one that gives him first strike.
Yes,
and
there's Sigwardus.
Sigwardus.
We got a Fusoya that doesn't target
no
anything.
value Fusoya feels bad, but it's a backup, and you got to get backups.
Yep. And we get a Vincent there from Jason. So now he's got again an Odin proof, but not Al-Cid proof forward
And
on the
is
field.
it coming?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm always waiting for it.
Yep. There it is.
There's Pelennor up here for you.
Pelennor also has that extra ability to deal an extra 1,000 to all forwards.
Yeah. It's a bit expensive, but there's times where that might make the difference in trading with something, or
Or if your opponent randomly plays a Palamor Porum, the 1 cost.
That's true.
But
Yep. Or if you just really don't like that Water Viking.
2/4 discarding the Ursula, return of Vincent.
Yep. He just comes back out of the coffin.
Yeah. Can't kill Vincent.
Yeah. Refuses to join your party again.
Yeah.
So.
We've all ran into that one.
Yeah. All right, he's gonna party attack with Al-Cid and the Onion Knight, and hitting another Emperor. So that's a tough one there, because again, that's very, very effective against Thomas's deck. We get Zidane again. This time he's got the
two
Gipples. Not one, but 2
Shantoto.
Gipples. Yeah, that Shantoto's gonna go, because that would have been pretty solid right here after the Al-Cid play.
Yeah, that would have been rough for Thomas to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. There's no point to attack. He's a blocker. I mean, you could duel it, and it'll do nothing.
He's retrieving an Al-Cid there with the Gramis. So again, that having an Al-Cid already in play, but retrieving one, you're definitely kind of announcing that that there's another one on the way. But that can also be pretty effective against your opponent, because now they're even probably less likely to want to block Al-Cid.
Yeah, because if I'm throwing an Al-Cid at you and I have one in hand, you're doing me a favor by killing it.
Precisely. He's gonna cut the deck there for him after the search for Al-Cid. Looks like we're passing to Jason's turn.
Yeah.
We saw earlier he still has the 2 Gipples in his hand. I'm not sure if you would play into that, but nope, he's gonna hit Chaos.
But it's not gonna work because Vincent can't be broken.
It's true. Yep. In that case, it's actually pretty good that he didn't play the Gipple yet. But is he gonna do it now? Nope. We're gonna get Brandalus. All right.
So we got the 8K first striking Brave Brandalus.
Yep. We've assembled Voltron.
Yeah. He's assembled Voltron.
Yep.
Looks like Voltron might get its leg shot here pretty soon. But
Yeah, I mean, against Lightning, we'll see how long. We'll see how long that lasts for. But that was pretty lucky there to hit the chaos while the only thing on the field was Vincent for sure.
I can stop most of your attacks.
And there's
Okay,
Lulu.
there's Lulu. Only takes so long before she shows up.
It's like these two that are holding.
So we've actually accounted for. Actually, I'm not. Did he just? Yeah, he just discarded that Elsid, I think. So that was the one that he retrieved before. Which again, anytime you have, like I said, if you have a card that's retrieving something, searching from your deck, it's kind of like getting 2 CP back from it. So a Gramis actually ends up really only costing you 1 CP if you end up using the other card to discard for CP.
There's Gipple.
All right, we have a 12,000 Vincent, followed by a 12,000 Brave First Strike Brandalus, hitting Barrel Eye, which is not going to do anything X-Burst wise.
Yeah, and Gipple is always a card that you want to see when you want to get either over your opponent or through your opponent. They kind of force them to block cards.
So let's.
Fusoya for 5K.
Okay, yeah, we don't have a Minwell right now, so this is like one of the first times he's been able to combo these things in this match that we've seen.
Yep,
Let's see what he's going to follow it up with.
Grabbed Winzidane, which you know what's going to happen next. 5K damage on it. And he's going to play another Fusoya.
So that's sometimes you have a guy disappear and there's another guy underneath. Sometimes you have Fusoya go, to take a restroom break and there's another Fusoya there the whole time. We get that Zidane again. He's got Yang and Guy, and Guy has been 86th.
Yep.
So we've shown you the first two. Anybody who's not remembering, there's Brandalus there for you. It's also got Next Burst, which, is interesting.
Actually looks like Brandalus actually gained some power if you had Pelennor and Sigwardus. So that was actually a 10K.
No, you calculated right 8 before.
My
you calculated that right the first time.
You
right, we get Yang Ursula. So what's interesting is that he did not have Ursula in his hand when he attacked, or when he was hit with the Zidane. He just top decked that Ursula, which is pretty dang good for him.
That's a good top deck.
Yep. So we've gotten rid of the Brandalus here, or at least for now, until another one potentially shows up. But we're still looking at Vincent and then Yang Ursula. Looks like he's gonna blow
Shoot
up
for 5.
Yep, he's gonna blow up Fusoya. Retrieving a Zalbag, so
Zalbag is gonna.
We can see where this is going.
Fusoya the rest of the way. That's exactly how we called it.
Just the chain of Fusoyas at this point.
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. It's not the Zalbag.
All right. And
it's a Minwoo.
Yep, that would have been really, really useful right now. So 2 of the best cards that Jason has against Thomas's deck right now are both in his damage zone, which is unfortunate.
Move your attacks. Walk in. No, you guys are small. It just bounces.
Let's see what Jason's
We
got
have
here.
not seen the Zalbag yet, so that's something that we're going to be looking out for in a subsequent turn, because that's I would expect it about right now.
Yeah.
Yep. He took the 4th point of damage there. Hit a Black Mage, doing no X-Burst.
Zalbag.
And there's Zalbag. As we've moved away from a meta that is heavily based on 4 CP forwards, Raban. So this is going to be able to. I think he's looking at his options, because Vincent's going to be able to pop somebody.
Yeah.
Chooses the Zalbag.
Zalbag, you're not going to pop the Zidane because he's got a Fusoya backup, so he's just going to get it again.
That's true. It is the strongest forward he has out there, but I guess you're kind of stuck with maybe not great choices. And then we have a Rigdia, which is going to be a body on the field to block with, essentially.
Yeah.
Because he's basically saying, if you want to attack with that Vincent, that's fine. I'm gonna come back at you with 2 more damage. They're actually both at 4 damage right now.
The crackback will kill you if you try.
You still don't have good attacks.
And he's going for it though. All right, Rigdia blocks, and then he's going to. We're going to have the return of Ursula. So this is a game of resurrection.
He's going to shoot for 5K.
Which is.
This is rolling over his sleeves.
Oh, because he took the 5,000 damage from
Rigdia. He's gonna
and then
get
he's going to
Zalbag.
retrieve Zalbag to his hand, and we can see where that's going.
Yep. And
This is, this is a
Zalbag.
deja vu match.
That would have been good.
Breaking that, swinging,
All
swinging.
right, comes in with the Onion Knight. At this point,
I keep forgetting that I have to punish
oh, there goes Guy.
5,
And then
and this-
Zidane, Leviathan. But once again, all three of these cards that the opponent that he has all
don't have
have
good attacks now.
effects when they enter the field. So that's a bit of a unfortunate.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not by accident in Thomas's design choices.
Yeah. Anything with the Nectar of Field ability, you love seeing it get Leviathan.
Yep.
Especially when you're in the lead. So it's the worst, the best of a worst situation there to bounce his out.
Yep. But at the same time, you're getting something off the field that is not going to be able to. Oh, Brandalus again. It's not going to be able to attack next turn. He doesn't search with the Brandalus, which is interesting.
No, but it's still. I mean, that doesn't.
I'm not sure if he's just aware that he doesn't have any.
It doesn't do anything.
It does say you may search, so it's not required. He's going to hit him with the Barbarisha, so that brings it down to 1,000, and then follows it up by breaking something with Lulu there, and that looks like that's going to be. That looks like it's going to be the match there. All right.
Good game.
That was very, very good follow-up there from Thomas.
No, but I don't want to free up your Cognazzo. Because if I free up your Cognazzo, then you can play another one, and I'm just going to Right?
So a good match there. A nice back and forth. It was definitely very different than our last match here. The quarterfinals, that was very, very one-sided, very quick. That was a good back and forth. There's a lot of answers that Jason has for Thomas's deck there, and he just got unlucky hitting a bunch of them on damage.
Yeah. Had Jason gotten the Minwoo in the third game, I think it would have changed everything there. Because then the the Lulu wouldn't have been able to do all these extra little things. But it's just it's the luck of the draw there, hitting the Minwoo and all that kind of stuff. But what you saw there was you saw Thomas come back after that first game where Jason had the advantage. He had 5 forwards out, and he was playing it, and he was just getting through everything that Thomas played. Thomas adjusted, and Jason couldn't keep anything on the field.
Yep, and that's, if Lightning is doing its job, it's going to keep you from keeping forwards on the field. And things like Zalbag and Seymour and the Lulu package and Alcid, so many ways of moving forwards that you're kind of forcing your opponent at that point to keep drawing forwards, to keep replenishing with, and you're kind of relying on them not drawing them as fast as you're getting rid of them. Yeah, just kind of the way that it works. And then on top of that, if your opponent comes into you and they hit an Odin X Burst or a Chaos or something, that's further fueling it, and even though you took the damage, it's doing it for free.
Yeah.
So, that was quite a matchup. I'm glad you guys got to see that here, and just kind of we saw how strong Thomas's deck can be. So it's just a great example of how a deck that is super strong has lots of great features to it. How there are answers to that, and it's not enough to just have the answers. You also have to have a little luck on your side. You have to
have Alcid every game.
You have to have, yes. The amount of times that Jason got Alcided during that match between the 3 games was a bit absurd. But again, that's what Thomas's deck is about. He uses the Sage, he uses the Fusoyas. He's getting these cards back so that he can play Wind Zidane and Alcid over and over, or Zalbag or something.
I think that Wind Zidane, playing it 3 times a game sometimes, it's a huge difference. You're taking your opponent's best card. And
you don't even have good.
Solid.
It's very great value compared to other cards that make your opponent discard, because most of the time it's not your choice on that. And so the fact that you're getting, even if you just end up being a chump blocker, the fact that you're paying 3, you're moving your opponent's best card, it's working into your strat, and then you also get somebody to block with and potentially be 7K. I think that works in this deck because since his overall focus is on making the opponent's forwards get depleted and have to play new ones, that means that it's pretty often your opponent in that situation is not going to have a lot of cards in their hand. So if they don't have many cards in their hand, that's going to feed into Zidane. So there's like a loop here going on with this strategy.
With also Wind Zidane Chaos Walker.
Yep.
You take their best forward or their only forward,
yep.
and then you Chaos Walker.
Yep.
It's beautiful
Yeah.
combo.
Yep, there's just a lot of pieces of the machine here that all work very, very well together in Thomas's match. And
Thomas
it's-
deck,
you know,
well-oiled machine.
Oh yeah, and I think he made good adjustments going into the other games as well, because he did lose that first one, but came back to win the next two. You know, that first round was between them. First game was very close, but I think he had a better handle on things by the second and third.
Yep.
So, and that's part of what we see in the best of 3 format, is that you see people, as we pointed out during the matches, that they make adjustments and work around what their opponent is trying to do.
Yep.
Yep. So, thank you for watching our semifinal match there. We will have the finals coming up for you soon. Again, we are the Break Zone. I'm Jared Scott. This is Philip Marciano. Hit subscribe for us. Like us on Facebook. Thanks again to Isle of Gamers for hosting us here. Thanks to Anna for all of the support for both the Break Zone and the game. And go ahead and look over at them on Facebook too. Give them a like. If you're in the area, come on down, check out either Isle of Gamers or Elusive Comics. And we will see you for the final match here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Take damage.